All right. Indra Shekhar Singh, Agri policy analyst, is also on the telecast with me. Indra Shekhar, how do you view the statement that has been made by the Chief Justice of India? He says, if you put some offenders who are burning stubble behind bars, it is going to send a strong message. Do you think this is going to stop farmers from burning stubble?
See, first of all, thank you for having me on your show. And what I would like to say is, I would not like to speak against the Chief Justice or any member of the court. But what I will say is that definitely there can be some other options, because when you imprison farmers, that gives a very bad example and which can be utilized by political parties and further politicization of the issue. Please keep that in mind. You know that there is an opposition government in Punjab. There are farmer groups in
Keep
Punjab.
fearing the opposition, and because they are going to use this against the government or against the Supreme Court, should we just stop ourselves from taking stern action?
No, actually, I am talking of stern action, and I will get to that point. I think the real stern action that can be taken is there's a lot of money that is still being underutilized and not being utilized within the National Clean Air Program and within the pollution control programs that that the government has. So, if we give every farmer 2,500 per acre to dispose of their stubble, I think the problem will be finished from the very root. Right now, the farmers, and I've been saying this on your channel for many years now, and the government also is now saying this, the same thing, that if we give enough adequate compensation and the means required, I think the problem of stubble burning can be finished forever. I don't want to also breathe the same air again. And I know this as a citizen, I'm not trying to say any political party is responsible or not responsible. But if we continue the politicization, Delhi will choke again. People like you and me will be choking. Our children will be choking.
But there have been several instances that we have seen in the past, witnessed in the past, that the funds that are allocated to the farmers are pocketed by them, and it is because it is cheaper to burn stubble. They carry on with the procedure undeterred because there are no penalties.
See, I would put a caveat and say that if the farmers, after receiving the money, then they still burn the stubble, I think that calls for penal action or criminal action. But before that, we must give them a chance. We must, because this is, I think, a valid demand. The current stubble, the harvesters leave the stubble out. So either the government also tells the manufacturers of these combined harvesters that, listen, you have to have a deeper cut when you are harvesting the paddy straw. This year, Punjab has also had the floods, because of which the paddy crop is affected. So we will be seeing maybe that there is less stubble burning anyways that's happening this year. So we can try out a pilot project, and the government can pick out a few districts, maybe 5 districts or 6 districts, and see if this mechanism works. We've already tried with everything. We've tried with superseder, they have failed. We've tried with other mechanisms, they have failed. Why not use public money now in the best way possible? And government believes in
the governments are doing that. The state government and the central government in Punjab, in Haryana, even in Delhi at this point of time are working towards it. There have been funds that have been allocated. There have been harvesters that have been bought by the government and are being handed over by the farmers. It is a continuous effort.
No. The thing is, we've also discussed this on Newsx many times. It's not that the superseder will solve the problem. They are creating a new problem because it's the combined harvesters that are leaving the stubble on the ground. These are foreign technology that is now implemented here without understanding the Indian conditions. It works in foreign nations, but not in India. Here we need a very unique model which is still not developed here. And the other problem of superseder, you said, that requires a very high horsepower tractor, which the farmers in Punjab and Haryana don't have. So, there are solutions, but they don't fit the problem.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to, the government is not making enough efforts. I'm just saying a little more, a new kind of effort is required, because we've already lost a lot of money trying to contain this problem, and it's not being contained. And the direct effect of this is seen, an effect of all of us who suffer from this each year, each Diwali. So I'm trying to really say that there has to be a non-political solution which is based in agriculture and maybe based in direct bank transfers.
Again, I do want to contradict you over here, because this is, when you understand, the farm laws had been rolled out, they were beneficial for the agricultural sector of our country, but they had to be rolled back simply because of the massive pressure and the politicization that happened by the opposition leaders that were in cahoots with these middlemen, with these rich farmers, with this.
Taking my point.
Yeah.
It's not a contradiction. In fact, you're stating my point because I
Yeah.
said this to begin with, that as soon as there is a thing by the Supreme Court, farmers are jailed, then the politicization will start, and then the problem will not be solved and will continue for the next year. So we
Okay.
actually are. Ma'am, let's just look at the case of the Ganga, where the Supreme Court has a clear mandate that there should be no bedrock mining and no mining and no mining and no mining and no deforestation in the Himachal Pradesh and other areas also. But look what the real state is because of the political class. So I agree with you that technically and theoretically, yes, the Supreme Court is paramount and I do respect its authority. But the political class, corruption, and some of the other things that are plaguing our
Of
country
course.
today, because of which the real time, there's no implementation of Supreme Court directives. That's why the Ganga is today plagued. That's why Himachal has suffered. That's why Punjab has suffered. That's why there's so much deforestation in the upper Himalayas. So
Right.
many Supreme Court initiatives were not followed. And
Yeah.
see, I'm talking
I
from
mean,
a
those
pragmatic
again,
point
at
of
the
view.
executive level, they need to be implemented. Of course, the loopholes, the corruption, the red tapeism needs to be controlled, or needs to be completely eliminated for these directives, for these orders to be executed in an exemplary fashion. Thank you very much for joining me on the telecast and sharing your